Hi there. This is the part 2 of the HTML training. So let us continue from last time. Today there is going to be a change. In the last video we used Notepad as a text editor, but Notepad is a basic text editor. For working with HTML web pages, it is better to use another program called Notepad++. So let us see how we can download that. So all you need to do is type in download Notepad++, and you can go to this website notepad-plus-plus.org, and from there you can consider getting Notepad++. So Notepad++ I have already installed on my computer, and here what it looks like. So let us use Notepad++ in today's video, and I'll show you the features of Notepad++ as we are using it. Now let us create our second HTML web page. So first of all, we have to put a declaration in our document, and that declaration is exclamation doc type HTML. Now this HTML declaration that we have to put indicates to the browser that this document is an HTML document. So the browser knows exactly what to do with the different content is there. This doc type HTML declaration has to be put at the very top of the HTML document. Now let us create the rest of our HTML document. It is a convention to use lowercase letters for the tags, so I'm going to put all the tags in lowercase today. So first of all, we have the HTML, and within the HTML we have the head, opening and closing tags, and then we have the body, opening and closing tags. Now once this file is entered in Notepad++, we can save it. So let us go to File, Save As. When you give Save As, it gives you a bunch of options here. We can save the file type as and select Hypertext Markup Language, which is HTML. And I'm going to name this file as second.html. Now as soon as we save it, we see that Notepad++ has done the color coding on it. Different tags are given in blue, and also Notepad++ puts the plus and minus signs, which means we can collapse and expand these things. So if I click on the minus sign, the entire HTML document is collapsed. If I click on the plus, then it expands, and same thing I can do for the head and the body section. Why this is useful? Because if you're working with a large HTML document, it becomes easier to expand and collapse the different sections in that document. Now earlier we had to open the browser window separately and open the document from there, but this feature is provided in Notepad++. So we just go to run, and from there we can launch our HTML document in any browser which is installed on this machine. So I'm going to launch it in Firefox. So here you can see that the document is open, but this document does not contain anything. So let us put something in it. So first of all, I want to tell you about the title tag. Now the title is used to give the title of the web page. So let me call this as HTML part 2 and close off the title tag and save it and refresh the browser. You can refresh it by reloading the page, or you can simply click on this refresh button, or you press the F5 key. So here you can see, as soon as I refreshed it, you can see the title in the title bar of the window, HTML part 2. Now let us put some content here. So this is the second video of HTML training, and again save it and refresh the browser, and we see whatever content we gave in the body tags has appeared over here. So let me zoom in a little bit so it is clearer. Now let us say in this HTML we want as bold. Right now it is all one and the same. The tag for making some text as bold is B. So I'm going to put B over here, and after HTML close off this tag and go to the browser, refresh it, and you can see now HTML is bold. Now it is also possible to make some text as italics. So let me make training as italics. So the tag for that is I, and I have to close off this tag, and you can see now training is in italics. Okay, now in the last video we saw that how we can implement line breaks, because just by typing the text on different lines does not make the browser show the text on different lines. We have to use the BR tag. How we can put extra spaces is by the use of something called as HTML entities. So HTML entities are special codes that we can include within our content, and we can put different symbols by using those codes. So let us see how to implement extra spaces. Now what I'm going to do is let us say between HTML and training I want to put some spaces, or let me put another line. So this is a line with a lot of spaces, and put a line break after the previous line. One thing about the BR tag is, since it is a self-closing tag, it does not require separate opening and closing tag. It is a good practice to indicate it as a self-closing tag by putting a / after the tag like this. So I have saved this in Notepad++ and refresh it, and here we can see that the second line has appeared, but there are no spaces. So let us implement some spaces over here to show you the problem. So I have put a lot of spaces here between off and spaces, and saved the document, refresh the web page, but still there is a single space between off and spaces. So now we will use the HTML entity. The HTML entity for a space is NBSP. So how we put it is ampersand NBSP and a semicolon, and this will just put a single space. So let me just copy it and paste a number of times, and now when I refresh it, you can see there are a lot of spaces between the two words. So each HTML entity that we have used has resulted in one space. There are other HTML entities also, and you can look it up on the web. One I can show you is the copyright symbol. So let us say I want to write on the next line. I'm going to put a line break first and put copyright, and the HTML entity for the copyright symbol is copy ampersand copy semicolon software testing space, and save it and refresh the web page. So you see where I put the HTML entity copy, the copyright symbol has appeared over here. Now let us move on and see lists. So let us say we want to make a list of items. So the tag for that is UL, and we start with UL and we put the opening and the closing tags. Now this just creates an empty list. There are no items in the list, and I've saved it, and let me refresh it. There will be no items. So in order to put the items, we have to put in the li tag. So let me put li first item and close this li tag, li second item and close this li tag. Let me put one more item, and now when I refresh the web page, you can see that a list has appeared. Now this list is not numbered, it is called a unordered list. We can make it an ordered list by having numbers in it. So all we need to do is replace ul with ol. Ol stands for ordered list. So I just replaced ul with ol and make sure it is saved, and now we can see the numbers over here. Okay, one of the important tags is the anchor tag, which is used to create the links on the web pages. So let us say I want to create a link over here to my blog. So how the link works is you use the a tag and then you put the text that has to appear in the link, and then you close the a tag. Well, the text is there, but we need some additional information. Once the user clicks on this link, where exactly they need to go. So that information is provided inside the a tag, and here we introduce the concept of attributes. An attribute is additional information along with the tag. So how the attribute is put is, within the opening tag itself we can say a, and here the name of the attribute is href. Href standing for what is the exact link to which it should navigate. So here I can put the entire URL to which it should navigate once a link is clicked, and that URL is inderpsync.blogspot.com. So now I have used the a tag, and notice the different parts. The href is the attribute. The value of the href attribute is given in double quotes, and it is the link to which it has to go once it is clicked. And this entire text that comes before the closing a tag becomes the link. So let us see how it looks in the browser. So here you see that software testing space has now become a link. Once I hover my mouse pointer on top of it, so it changes to the hand symbol, and if I click on it, so it will actually go and it navigates to whatever link has been given over here. So I did put a .com, but .com site redirects it to the country specific site, so that is why it has come to the India site. So let us go back. Now here one more thing we can do is in HTML document is use images. So let me just refresh this web page, so to take it here. Now the tag for using images is img. So img is the image tag, and again this needs attributes to specify what is the image. So we have to use an attribute for specifying the image, and the attribute is src. The name of the attribute is src, and within this we specify the location of that image. Now I have an image kept in the same folder where this is there. So let me open it, and this is the image over here. So let me use this image. So I just put the name of the image here, and go to the browser and refresh it. So now you can see the image has appeared. This image is from last year when we went on a jungle trek in the foothills of the Himalayas, and this is a picture of me, but this is how you put the images. Now one more thing we can do is specify the size of the image. So maybe the image is a little too big or too small and we want to resize it or something, or we want the image to come on a different line. So let me first of all take the image on the next line, so use the BR tag for that. So the image comes on the next line. Now let me increase or specify the size of the image. So here I can use another attribute. So I can use, for example, width, and here I can specify what is going to be the width of this image. So now you see the image is a lot bigger. Of course the quality is not maintained, so let me reduce the width and specify height also. So let us say I want height as 200 and width as 200, and now it is a bit better. We can also do another thing. We can specify the height and width attributes as percentages. So let us say I always want this image to be 30% of the width of the browser window. So let me refresh it, and now you can see the browser window 30% is occupied by the image. Why this is useful is because if the user resizes the browser window, so automatically the image width adjusts according to the width of the browser window. Okay, another interesting thing we can do is we can make the image itself as a hyperlink. So let us say I don't want to put the text over here as the hyperlink. I want the image to be the hyperlink. So all I can do is remove this text over here, but now you see that I have taken the img tag within the a tag. How? I'm going to close the a tag after the img tag. So the img tag is totally within the a tag. So let us save it and see how it looks. It is not saved. Now it is saved, and as soon as I move my mouse pointer over the image, so it changes to the hand, which means that this image is now a hyperlink. So if I click on this image, so it takes me to the URL that I specified in my a tag. Now one problem that you may have noticed is that as soon as I click on the link, it takes me to the URL that I have specified. Now sometimes we don't want it like that. Sometimes we just want that the link should be opened in a new tab or a new window. So how we can do that is use another attribute within the a tag, and that attribute is called the target, and we can give the value of the target as underscore blank. And what this will do is let me refresh this web page. So what this will do now is this will open a new tab once I click on the link. So let me click on the link, and here you see it has opened a new tab. So we already have the existing web page, and the link is opened in the new window or new tab. So let us go back and see a couple of more important HTML tags. Okay, one of the important tags is the div tag. The div tag allows you to make a division of the content in your web page. Div tag always creates a content in a separate section, so there is a blank line above and below the div section in your HTML document. I'm using the term HTML document and web page interchangeably, so they mean the same thing most of the time. So let me create a div tag here. So I'm going to put div, and after my list I can put the above is a list, and then close off the div tag. And now let me go to the browser and refresh this web page. So here you can see this entire section is the div section. So it has a blank line above this and a blank line below this. Why div tag is important? Because it allows us to separate different sections of our HTML document in the logical order. And in div tag also we can use attributes like we have seen in a tag and img tag. So let us say this div I want to give a separate color to it. So the attribute for that is style. So style is equal to, and here I can give background color as yellow, like this, and refresh the web page. So now you can see the entire div tag makes it with a yellow background. And the same style attribute we can use in other tags also. Sometimes we don't want to separate out the content as it is, but what we want to do is we just want to have no extra line breaks as we get with the div tag. So there is another tag in HTML called the span. So let us say we just want to do something with the second item over here. So we can start with a span tag here, and after second item close off the span tag, save it, and once the web page is refreshed, there is no change, but now it is we have created another element, which is this span element, so we can handle it differently. So let us say we want to put this second item with handle it differently by putting a different background color. So we can use the style attribute over here, and style we can put as background color is red. Because we have created the span element, it is possible to apply different settings to that particular element. Now when I refresh the web page, you can see that the second item is handled differently. It has a red background. So this is about div and span. There are other attributes also. So one of the attributes is called I. So ID. So let us say that we want to navigate to a particular location in the web page. So let us say that it is a very long web page. Let me put some content here. I'm just going to put sample text and put a line break also, and paste it few times so that we can get a long web page, and refresh my web page. So now it comes with a vertical scroll bar and we can scroll down. So there is a lot of text over here. Now here we are going to use the ID attribute. ID is a attribute that you can use with any HTML tag, and it allows us to navigate to that particular element. How it works is, let us say that I am interested in the first item. First item is some place where we should be able to navigate. So how we can use the attribute is just put the attribute name ID is equal to, and we can put any value in this ID. One important thing to remember is that IDs have to be unique across different elements on the same web page. You should not have multiple elements with the same ID. IDs should be unique across the elements. And towards the end, we can put a link. So use the a tag. So a href is equal to, and here we can put hash and the ID of the first item. The ID of the first item was first underscore text. So we have to put exactly that. First underscore text, and we can put the content here that we want to click here to go to first item of the list, and then close off the a tag. Now go to our web page, refresh it, and as we scroll down we see that this link has appeared. Click here to go to the first item of the list, and if we click here it takes us to the first item. So we can use the ID attribute to implement navigation within the same web page. If it is a long web page, you want to be able to navigate to different parts of the web page, you can use the ID attribute for that. So that is about ID. Let us look at the next thing, which is the table. So let me delete all this sample text over here and implement a table. So the tag for creating a table is the table tag, and a table really means a number of rows and columns. So it is best to show you with an example. So I start the table and end it with the closing table tag. Now table has couple of other tags in it. So one tag is called the tr and the other tag is called the td. Tr is to implement the rows. So let us say our table is going to have 2 rows. So I need tr and then close off the tr tag. So this is row number 1. Then tr and then another closing tr tag. So we have 2 rows now. Now within the row, that means within the tr opening and the closing tag, we have to use the td tag to specify the cells within that row. So let me put cells here. So the tag for putting a cell is td, and let me just put a couple of cells here, td and slash td. So within the first cell I'm going to put, this is first row first column, and within the second cell I will put, between the opening and closing td tag, I'll put first row second column, so we know where it is. And same thing I can do in the second row also, but let us look at this first. So let us go to our web page and refresh it. So here you can see that just a single row has appeared and there are 2 cells here. So this is first row first column. So how we implemented it? So let us go back. So we started with this entire table, and there we implemented a row by using tr opening and closing tag, and we implemented another row using tr opening and closing tag. Now within the tr tag we put a single cell and we put another cell. So let us build the second row also. So I'm going to first of all put the second row first column. So td opening and closing tags, and this is second row first column, and here I can put TD opening and closing tag, and this is second row, second column. It's all in the same line, so it is a bit confusing. So let me take it to different lines so that you can clearly see where all this is coming from. And we can do the indentation also. So and within the TR we can indent like this. So this is our table. So this entire thing is the table over here, and within the table there are, as you can see, couple of rows with the TR tags. Within the first TR we have couple of cells using the TD tag, and within the second row also we have couple of cells. So let us save it and look in the browser how it looks like. So here you can see this is the first row of the table. It has two cells. The first cell contains the text first row first column, and the second cell in the first row is first row second column. Then this entire thing is the second row. The first cell of the second row contains second row first column, and the second cell of the second row contains second row second column. Now this table is not having any borders as we see in Microsoft Excel. So we can put a border also by using the border attribute. So border is equal to, we can maybe give 2 pixels and refresh the web page, and here you can see now it is nicely formatted with the border, and we can see all these rows and columns in the table. So we can expand it also. So let me add one more row. So I'm just going to copy the second row, paste it, and just rename the content so it is a bit clear, and save it. So now our table should have 3 rows, and the cells in each row have appropriate relevant content that explains it. So now we get a nice table in 3 rows like this. So that is all for this video, and see you in the next video.